Hello everybody, today I'm going to be sharing with you what's in this bag. What is in this bag, you ask? Let me turn the light on so we can see. Would have been a good thing to do before the video. What is in this bag, if I can find the zipper, is a small portable television set. Okay. It's an RCA, I think it's 9 inches maybe, color portable LCD television set. It looks like this. You can actually use it in the bag. We'll get into the uses in a second and what this is not good for in a second as well, because a lot of things that you might want to use this for, it is not good for. But anyway, the bag has 2 straps on it, so you could strap it to something like the back of a car seat or something, and that's sort of useful, but not really. We'll get into that in a second. This is the TV. It has a battery in it, and it also, you can use it while it's plugged in, which is what I generally did. I don't really use it much. It's got feet, so you can set it like this, but it's also got a foot. You can set it up like this. It has USB. You can put in an SD card. I haven't tried ever putting an SD card in it, but I'm sure, yeah, the foot kind of sucks. I'm sure that it would work just fine. On the side, you've got AV in, and there's a little adapter for that, and then a headphone port, an audio out, your 12-volt in, a power switch, and a coax port for an antenna. On the front, you've got power, source, which is your input, of course, aspect, which is the aspect ratio, and you need to quit dropping it, and menu and exit, as well as channel up, channel down, volume up, and volume down. In the separate part of the pouch, we have the go-withs, which include, let's see what we got here. This is the power adapter. It's just a, undo yourself, wall wart type power adapter. It plugs into the side. You can either use this to charge the battery built into it or power the TV if you don't want to run on batteries. We have an antenna. I believe this is, yeah, this is the antenna. Little small antenna. It's sort of springy. It's pretty durable compared to, you know, it's not one of those that's just going to snap in half. It is also magnetic. Let's see what's magnetic here. It's magnetic, so you can stick it to things. And it's got a fairly decently long cord, so you could plug your TV into it. You can, of course, plug a regular pair of rabbit ears into this as well if you wanted even better reception. Although, and I will demonstrate, this little small antenna actually does get pretty good reception. We've got the AV cord that we mentioned before. That simply plugs into the AV input on the side. And you can plug in stuff like a DVD player. I don't know what plugs into an RCA connector like this. The only downside to this I have is that these are male connectors, meaning if I have something with female connectors like a DVD player or something, I can plug this into it, but these are not female connectors. And one thing that I used to like to play, I used to use a lot, were, and not on this TV, of course, because you can't use it with these connectors, unless you buy a female-to-female adapter, which they do make. But, you know, like those little handheld games, video games that they had like Pac-Man and all that stuff on them, and they took batteries. But those had the cables built right into them, so you plugged them directly into the TV. You couldn't just plug a pair of cables into it. And then last and probably least, because you're never going to use it for a TV this small, is a remote control. And I have to say I've never used the remote control. It works, but generally, you're not going to be far enough away to use the remote control. The remote control runs on a CR2032 battery, and it works. It's remote. Okay, now here's what I was going to mention about this. This, and a lot of people confuse these, because I know, I don't want to say I did, because I knew what digital was when I got this, but I was hoping it would be a little bit more useful than it is. This is not like a Watchman. Remember, used to you had Watchmans and you could put the antenna up and you could be in the car driving along and you could watch TV on your Watchman. You could walk around and watch it. Same thing goes with those little small portable, like 5-inch black and white TVs. This is not that. This is not analog, this is digital. Analog was shut off in 2009, which is unfortunate in many ways, because one thing about these things and all digital televisions, they can't move. So if you're walking around or you're in the car with this, unless you're sitting perfectly still, it's going to be breaking up. It's not going to get a good signal. It's not going to be able to grab the signal that it needs. So unless you're using it with something like the, an input device, external input device, you're not going to be able to use this in a car, like for a road trip for the kids. So that's what I mentioned. Yes, you can strap this to the back of like a car seat with this, and it'll stay in there, but you can't really use it in the car. Things it is good for, you're camping, you're in an RV, get a bigger damn TV, but somewhere where you're just going to be sitting and watching the TV and it's going to be still. I don't know exactly how long the battery life is on this. I don't remember, but it's pretty easy to set up. You just take your antenna, and I'm doing it with one hand. You take your antenna and you plug it into the side of it. Turn on the power switch on the side and turn on the power switch on the front. And if you're going to be using it on battery, and it might be dead. Okay, the battery I think might be dead. If you're going to be using it, yeah, okay, the battery is dead. If you're going to be using it with the battery, though, you want to make sure to turn that switch on the side off, or else your battery will die. So plug it in here and it should fire right up. Yep, there we go. And we have to find, let's see, put the antenna on here. It's been a while since I've scanned these channels, so it might be a bit difficult to get some things in. Okay, this is really bad. It normally picks up pretty good, so I've got to figure out a better place to put this antenna that is away from this. I bet it's this CFL light. So this is one of many problems I have with digital televisions, and it's not just this little thing, it's digital televisions in general. The old analog, people always go, oh yeah, the digital's got such a better picture compared to analog. When it comes in very strong, yes, but the thing about analog is, it's kind of like AM radio. You can be out somewhere and you got a ton of static, but you can still hear it. Well, analog TV was the same way. It could have a lot of interference, a lot of static, and yes, digital won't get that. But if digital does have any interference, it's just going to do this. But I will admit that the signal on this thing is normally better than this. Let's put it on 5. I know it'll get 5. Yeah, 50. It'll get 50 too. So, yeah, the TV, I mean, it has a pretty good picture. It's not, obviously, very high definition, none of that. I think it's 720, so it would be considered high definition. But it's not like the best TV you've ever seen or anything. It's small. It's meant to be able to be good enough so that you can see what's going on. It's not meant to be perfect, and it is. So for something, you want it to sit somewhere, kitchen counter, like right here. It's honestly a little bit small for that, but, somewhere like that, it's perfect. Just don't expect to be carrying it around with you like a Watchman, because it's not going to happen. Those days are over when analog got shut off, because digital is completely useless. I'll demonstrate. Let me pick up the antenna here and just sort of slowly move it around, and you can see that right now, me just slowly moving the antenna around is enough to make it not be able to pick up anything at all until I put it completely still again, and then it'll come back in. So don't expect to be using something like this. I don't even know if they make these. I'm guessing they still make these. But even me moving my hand around the antenna, I don't want to touch it, just going like this is enough to cause it to break up some. So you need to be ready for that, and you know, it's not good for moving around. The remote, let's see here. Of course the batteries in the remote are dead. I haven't used this thing in years. It's been sitting in the bag for years. Anyway, I mean, you know, it's a little small TV. It's color. The sound on it's pretty good too. Pretty good. It's subjective. It gets loud for how small it is. Let's just say that it's not good sound, but it gets loud. You can hear what's going on. It doesn't look as washed out as it does on camera. So it does work, and it will pick up, you know, pretty good channels. Not pretty good channels, there's nothing good over the air, but it will pick up a lot of channels is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to have to redo the channel scan because it's been probably a couple years, and that'll help with that. Anyway, yeah, it's a pretty decent little portable TV. It's not as useful, you know, it's not as good as the old analog ones. I'm just going to be honest. The old analog ones, even the black and white ones, were so much better. You could use them while you were moving. They'd pick up signal better, you know, but like I said, now those are completely useless, so yeah, I mean, it's pretty decent, and especially if you have a DVD player or something you want to hook up with the cables in the car, and put this, or hell, a video game, and put this on the back of the car seat, let the kids watch TV or play video games, you know. I guess it's okay. So, there you go. That's the little RCA portable television thingamajigger.